Welcome back to eRide. In this video, we are going to work on the damage and the death portion of the code. So let's get started directly because I don't think this needs an introduction. So now the current health, we already made the logic to reduce the current health in the last video, but that will go under zero after the player dies. So we need to add a clamp so that the minimum health always remains 0.f. Now, after this, we will add a check and check whether the current health is less than 0.f or equal to 0.f. And if it is, then we will kill the player. Now, there won't be any literal killing, but just a ragdoll animation that would play on the screen. Now for this, we also need to make sure if the player is alive, then only we need to do that. So we will just create a new variable and make it a boolean, which would be bool b is player alive or is alive, whatever you want to name that. And the default value should be true because the player will be alive in the start. And we need to always make sure to replicate the variable using the do rep lifetime. As usual, we have done more than 3 replicated variables till now. Now we will just go back here and call the multicast functions. So that should be pretty it. Oh, I think we have not created the multicast. Before that, let's just check if the player is alive and then only call the function, because if it's dead, we don't want to call that function. So we will just make the player to be dead, and then we will create a new function which will be multicast and would be running on all the clients, and that is the death function. It will set the collisions for the player to be ragdoll and the profile to be ragdoll and simulate the physics. So player death. This is the same we are going to use on shooting and stuff like that. So we are just going here and call the multicast mld player death. Now on this player death function, what we need to do is basically call our um, set the set it to replicate physics firstly. So we'll just call simulate physics and set it to true. Next, we need to set the profile of the collision to be ragdoll. Now it would be a text profile, so we can just go and say get mesh, then get set collision profile name, and then get a text and make it ragdoll. Ragdoll. Yeah. Now this will call the multi, so player death and the player will die. And so also this client damage will not get called because we have made a check for be alive. So it will only get called once before death, and after that it will not get called. So we don't need to add a check for that. I think the project is open and it's not, let me just check once. Oh yeah, it's open. So let's try playing. I think we don't need to make any difference or any changes here. It should directly play and work as it is. So I will just fast forward it to the final point because this is going to load very slow. And on the right side of the screen, you can see the the player is getting the damage, and both the players are now getting the damage because the zone is removed. So let them die. I will just let one of them die, although it will work for both of the players, of course. But and here it goes, and here, as you can see, nothing bad happened. Just the player died, and no red screens and damage is getting called because we have made a check for that. So that works now, and let's move on. And this looks good, right? Like a movie scene where the player dies. So I would say that is it for this video. See you in the next one.